Hello and welcome everyone! Trying to think up a joke for this video drove me coconuts. I know that was a hollow shell of a pun, but it was the best I could come up with. Today we are making a super simple cookie, the Coconut Macaroon. These cookies are chewy on the inside and nicely crunchy like meringue on the outside. They're sweet, but not too sweet, and packed full of coconutty goodness. For today's recipe, you will need 1½ cups or 1 small bag of shredded coconut, 1/3 of a cup of soft golden or brown sugar, 2 egg whites, 2 tablespoons of flour, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg or mace, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. As you saw there in the B-roll, there aren't many ingredients for today's recipe. Feel free to experiment with spices other than nutmeg as well. Allspice could be a really interesting addition. You will get the best results by using shredded coconut rather than desiccated or medium coconut, because desiccated and medium coconut will be much finer and make the cookies much denser. If you want the cookies to be a bit less sweet, you can use unsweetened shredded coconut. It's very hard to find here, so today I'm using sweetened shredded coconut. Firstly, preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Then we're going to mix our flour and spice into the shredded coconut, making sure it's well mixed. Next, put the egg whites in a large mixing bowl, add the vanilla and the salt. Then beat the eggs until they form stiff peaks. You can beat them either by hand or with a mixer, whatever you prefer. If you want to know how to test to see if your eggs have reached stiff peaks, you should be able to invert the bowl without the eggs falling out. This is of course a risky test if your eggs do happen to not be at stiff peak stage. Once the eggs are at stiff peaks, we can begin incorporating the sugar. Slowly add in the sugar and beat it very well between additions. This prevents the egg whites from deflating. When the sugar is fully mixed in, we can begin to mix everything together. Add 1/3 of the egg whites to the coconut and mix well. Then, add the next third and gently fold it in this time. We want to preserve as much of the air from the meringue as possible. Finally, mix in the last third and set it aside. Prepare a sheet pan either by spraying it with cooking spray or by covering it with parchment paper. Now, using 2 spoons, carefully portion out the cookies. A single batch should make 12 macaroons. I like to divide it out into 12 portions, and then if there's any left over, top up any of the smaller cookies. Once they are all formed, pop them into the preheated oven for 15 to 20 minutes, or until they are nice and golden brown. Finally, take the macaroons out of the oven and let them sit for 5 minutes to firm up. Once they have sat for 5 minutes, you can transfer them to a cooling rack and let them cool completely at room temperature. Here we have the finished macaroons. Satisfyingly crunchy on the outside, but sweet and chewy on the inside. These super easy to make cookies are sure to satisfy. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. If you did, then be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next video.